I just came in from the Indian Ocean and landed in South Africa. Now, this place, I just can't even describe. It's so awesome. It's different in so many different ways, especially the ocean. There's crazy stuff. There's awesome shells and like anemones and all sorts of cool stuff. So, I've got my wetsuit here. I tried to use it as well pants, but it only works for the first couple minutes. And I've got all my supplies here. And up here you can see, got the South African flag, which is really cool. And then, so yeah, I'll show you all my supplies. I've got this map to South Africa. Now, this is a really cool map because it's made for the wild. See, it's, as it says on the cover, waterproof. And right now I'm all wet, so normally with a map made of normal paper, this would be getting wrecked right now when I'm dripping on it. And then, tear resistant right there. So it won't tear as easy. It's got two different sides. One is Western South Africa, the other is Eastern. Here is where I am in this area. I'll show you in a little bit. As you can see, here's the Indian Ocean, which is the ocean that I'm at right now. I'll put this perfectly round rock right here on it. hold it down, paperweight. So here I've got a pack that has the straps that can go around my waist, like a fanny pack. It's got a couple of zippers, and that's big enough to hold my supplies. I've got a dry pair of shorts. Now I have my knife, and it's a little rusted from the last trip when I got in the salt water, but it still works good. Just don't cut yourself on it or you'll get tetanus. And it's got a hammer here and the blade, the flint striker. Well, that's where you strike the flint, but here's the flint striker. And that'll be handy as always. Dry pantalones. Rope right here. As you can see, it is thick up here, but then it gets stringier and stringier, and you can pull it apart to the thinnest amount that you want to use to tie stuff together. If you don't need to use this big chunk of something and you want to use more string, then you can just pull the rope apart. I've got some dry long sleeve shirts to keep me warm because it gets pretty cold here towards the nighttime. And now over here, what looks like a prehistoric roly-poly is actually a shell that you can find down at the beach. And as it looks like an armadillo shell, its nickname is an armadillo shell. And you can see it's pretty cool. It's got the little bumps in the layers, and when there's a living creature inside of it, there's a little snail, like a little snail that goes along and you're like, oh, but when these get crashed around the waves, they'll run into rocks and all sorts of stuff, and these pieces will come off. And the end pieces are called mermaid teeth because they look like teeth. Okay, so I'm going over to this Kruger National Park type area, and so where I am is down here in the East London area. I'm along this beach, so yeah, that's where I am currently, and I'm gonna be looking for one man, and his name is Basil Mills, but first I gotta find him. Now, he is an expert on South Africa, all the outdoors, and all sorts of cool stuff, so he'll teach me, and hopefully all that information is going to help get me up to this area, like over by Kruger National Park, and I'm going to hopefully see a rhino, which is the reason that I came here, and then my final destination is going to be the Sabi Sands. So yeah, I'm going to get adventuring, and first off, I'm going to show you down like by the beach maybe. Okay, so here I have something really cool. This is a shark's egg. Now, the shark's eggs will drift up onto the beach and they get tangled in seaweed and all sorts of stuff, and that'll pull it up. You look up into the sun, it gets sort of transparent. I don't know if you can see, but with this one, there's no little baby shark. But I'll keep looking and see if I can find an egg with a shark in it. Yeah, these are really cool, and then once they dry out, they sort of look like a purse, and they're called a mermaid's purse. So yeah, this is a shark egg, and it's really cool. Okay, so I'm all dry now, and it's getting dark out, so it's about time that I go find Basil. I'm gonna miss the beach, but I've got to get moving. So I'm gonna hike up behind me. I'm gonna go up on the sand dunes and see if I can find him. I've got all my stuff packed up, and hopefully rhinos, here I come. Okay, so obviously I'm not on the beach anymore, I've been hiking and I've come across a cool flower. Now this flower is called the proteer flower. This is the South African national flower and it's pretty rare to find out in the wild, so it's really cool that I came across one of these. And I'll just show you the view of where I've been hiking through, and that's just an amazing view and you won't find that anywhere else. So yeah, just take one more look at that and I'll keep hiking and go try to find basil. So here I go. I can smell a campfire, so I think I'm getting close. Okay, so we've got a plant here. Now this plant will catch your eye because it's a different looking plant, but this plant is good for like bug bites and bug stings. And what you do is you get one of these little leaves off of it and then you break it open and it's got sort of a liquidy type sticky substance inside of it, and you can just rub that on the sting and you're good to go. So if you ever see one of these out in the wild and you get stung, you should break it in half and rub it all over. Aha! Basil!
Welcome, my man, welcome. Good to see you. Heard a lot about you.
Nice
Keeping
to
well.
meet you.
That's nice to see you. Yeah, look, I'm sure you're hungry. We'd like you some biltong.
Okay,
We'll get you some here. There we go.
thank you.
Kudu, very nice. Let's get on with the rest to see the rest of Africa. Let me show you this water. What is really interesting is that in Africa you don't even need a cooking utensil. We can just use mud, because in Africa we learn a lot from the local people, and they've been here for many years, and so we can pick up many tips from them. One, you can just take a nice bunch of mud, take an egg like that, snap it on, and you encase it round, and then we put it in the fire and we bake it.
Okay.
And there's your nice cooking pot. Okay, you gonna try it?
Yep.
Okay, you give it a go there. You can cover it in some nice mud. I see you like getting dirty. That's
Yeah.
right. That's it. You take a good wallop and just pack it in nice and slowly. There we are, pack it round. Fantastic. Let's go and cook it.
Okay.
Good. Okay, here we go. Coals are nice and hot. Just pack it down there. There we are. And we just put some coals over the fire, and I say, fill it in nicely. There we go.
Okay.
Leave it for a while. It'll be fantastic. This plant here has a lot of interesting things. First, if you look at this, we take off the flower, and why it's called a tickle or soldier. That is the spear, okay, of the blood of evil people that came and hurt the local people, and the little tickle helped them, and these are his soldiers that came to help. Here's the shield, and here's the rest of the plant. And you're such a handsome young chap. If you want to go and visit nice ladies in the bush, you just take one of these off and you can comb your hair very smartly and tidy up. You must try that, it's really nice. But if you've been bothered by mosquitoes, you just chuck this in the fire, keeps the mosquitoes away, okay? And this here was also the aloe vera. If we take our knife and we just cut off a piece of this, that yellow coming out is very bitter, okay? And it'll stop you from smoking and eating your nails, and even little babies, when they're biting their mommy's boobies, they tend to put on and stop that. That's what they do in Africa. But it's a very useful plant. It's also used by the Egyptians for embalming their mummies. You'll see it tastes very nice, I promise you.
This right here is aloe vera, and it works for if you've got a wound or something or a sunburn. You can just rub it on like that, and you can see it leaves that yellowish greenish color. And
It's bitter.
Ugh, it does not taste very good.
You've got a very fancy knife there.
Yeah?
Yeah. And knives get dulled very quickly in the bush. And I'm going to show you an old African knife. Just made out of an old file. And if you want to sharpen it, all you need to do is get a nice flat stone like this over here. And you pour a little bit of water onto the rock. And then you can start scraping it. You work it that way, and then you work it this way. Okay, I'm going to show you now. Let's go this way, and let me show you how it's done. Take it this way. So what you do is this way, this way, this way, this way.
Okay.
Here we go. That's it. And you can sharpen any object like that in the bush. Okay. And another secret with using stone is that we can open up a tin. You just take an ordinary tin like this. And you don't know what side it is, and you can't find out what food or how to open it. You've got no instruments. All you do is in the rock, rubbing it like that, and eventually wears it away and you can open. You try something. Okay. Join on top of it. That's it. On top of it like that. This is there, like that. And then. That's it. Got the idea. Okay, let me help you a little bit here. Okay, it's amazing. So it opens up the tin for you, and there we go. Right, and you've got yourself a nice can.
Wow, that worked really well.
Try one. That's it. Okay, do it out. Okay, and let's just dump it in my hat here. There we are. And we pour some water into it. And let's see. There's your egg. Nice and hot. Feel how hot that is, don't drop it. Hot, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's wash it clean. Okay. Now to test if you're a really good cook, you can eat against your head. Okay, if it breaks, then it's not properly cooked. If it is, then it's cooked. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's cooked. Look at that. Fantastic. See there? Now you can eat a nice egg. Okay. Here we go. Bit hot, careful. You have a little bit there. And I'll have this bit. Now we're having lunch. Now, you make a good African.
That's really good.
Nice, eh?
Better than the yellow.
You're not going to forgive me, are you? Right, let's go and look for some rhino.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in the back of a Jeep and we're on a tour going through some of the wild and we're gonna see some rhino. So far we've seen quite a lot of animals like giraffe and all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, you guys, so we're in a Land Rover and we're got a better view since we're poking out the top. And just behind me is a big male lion and he's got a cool mane, it's like you see on TV and in the books. So really cool. Okay, everybody, now it's time for a giraffe. His tail's really long. Okay, you guys, so we're out on the safari and okay, you guys, so we're out on the safari and we've come across 2 white rhino and it's really awesome. So here they are over here, they're really pretty and they've got no horns, and this is the reason that we came here, is to see these guys right here. So it's really awesome that we saw this. They're so cool. I'm like in shock right now. It's awesome. There they are, there's 2 of them, one right there, one back there. So yeah, it's really cool that we finally saw the rhino. Okay, so they're right there and they're so cute. I just want to get out and give them a hug, but they most likely try to attack me, so that's not a good idea. But yeah, there they are. Look at their fuzzy little ears and the tiny little legs. Yeah, so that's a rhino. So if you look at these rhinos, they're missing the horns and they were poached, so they're lucky to have survived that, which a lot of rhinos don't survive that. So it's cool that they did. Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you very much for letting me see your rhinos right here, and I'm sorry about what happened to them. That's very sad, but do you think you could just tell the people who watch this how important these rhinos are to the society and all of
Well, it's not just these rhino that are important, but the rhino as a species are important, because what we've got to look at here is the big picture, and it's critical now. If we take the wrong actions or reactions to this rhino poaching, we're going to lose the rhino on Earth as a species, and we one day have to tell our grandchildren that this is what we had, and sorry, we made a mistake. So to wait years and years to debate what to do, how to stop rhino poaching, is really taking way too long. We need to be much more on top of it all and to take decisions now that take effect immediately, not in years to come. So, you know, guys like CITES who control what one can and can't do with different animals in the world, it needs to happen sooner. They're going to now debate things in 4 years' time about rhino. In 4 years' time we might have half the rhino, if any, left. So it really takes way too long, but I'm glad you're doing what you can and keep it up, and thanks for coming, and
Thank you.
hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Pleasure.
People had sent him from all around the world, and he had a bunch of pet snakes, and it was just really cool visiting there. It was wild. Okay, so something that was even more wild. So we were driving around at night, we heard some like branches snapping, so we went over, and there it was. It was the largest elephant in that park, and his name was Ovas, which sounds like old boss, and that's what it means. So yeah, it was really amazing. We saw him, he was eating some wild asparagus and knocking down trees and stuff, and he came really close to the Jeep. Got to see his eye, like up close. It was so cool, his long eyelashes, and I even got to hear him bark. So this experience has just been really amazing, but I don't know, it just seems like everything's moving a million miles an hour, and I've never been so tired. But that's the cool thing about adventuring. You just got to observe and absorb everything, and you just got to keep moving. Okay, so I've been hiking a while and I met Basil and I'm on my way to the Sabi Sands, and I've taken a stop at Elephant Whispers, and as you can see I'm next to an elephant right now. This is the biggest one. His name is Timbo, and I got to ride him. It was really cool. He's just a big friendly giant, and if you look at his ears you can see that he's an African elephant because his ears are shaped quite like Africa. So yeah, I'm gonna keep making my way towards the Sabi Sand, and I might ride him once more. But yeah, he likes the little pellets that I got, likes the treats. So yeah, it's really cool. Big elephant. So, as you can see, I am on an elephant. And again, this is the same one, it's the biggest one. And it's a really cool experience. Way up here, you can see everything. It's a little bumpy at times, but other than that, it's really fun. So, yeah, I'm on an elephant. Okay, so I was hiking. Okay, so I was hiking and I decided to stop at Chimp Eden, the Jane Goodall Institute, and as you can see behind me here are some chimps. And I got to go around, I got to see these guys. They're really cool and how they act and just watching them play and stuff. And some of them, they all have their own personality and some of them like to throw stuff. Yeah, but these guys are rescued from like the circus if they're abused or something. And a lot of these guys are orphans. Like if their mother was shot by a poacher, the baby will be rescued. But what they do with the meat of the chimp that's shot is they'll sell it and people will eat it, but it's the same thing with like the rhino horn. It's, they think it cures diseases and stuff like that, but it's really just all in their head. So yeah, here's these guys back here and I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, so I'm still making my way up to the Sabi Sand, and I've decided to see someone very special. This here is Timby, and she is a 9-month-old female rhino, and she's just a little baby, and let me tell you her story. So one day when Timby and her mom were sitting, having a nice day, eating some grass, and just having a nice day with her mom, some evil poachers came along and they shot her mom, and they came and they chopped and they sawed off her horn, and there was blood everywhere, and the poachers ran away like cowards always do. And Timby here was left with her mom, who was struggling to breathe and just couldn't anymore and died. So she was a little orphan then, and she just sat with her dead mom, and one day she was rescued by this place, and it's called Care for Wild Africa, and here they will protect her and feed her, and she likes to have her belly rubbed. But rhinos are very special. They're special to me and they're special to each other, and if you think it's cool to have a rhino horn on your lampstand or something, you're wrong. If you think the rhino horn can cure diseases, you're wrong. It's just all in your head. But all we need to do to stop poaching is just stop buying the rhino horn. And one day, Timby here can have babies of her own, and she will help increase the rhino population so that the rhinos don't go extinct. And one day I can come back to Africa and see all the rhinos out in the wild, free of worry of being poached, and they can just be happy. So yeah, she's here, and she was just a little baby when her mama died, and just think how you would feel if you were a little baby and your mama got shot and you were just a little orphan to fend for yourself. This is how Timby felt until she was rescued, and she's all safe now. So yeah, give her a big hug, and I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, so I've been hiking through the forest, and there's tons of things you gotta watch out for. You gotta watch out for monkeys. Monkeys run wild. I've seen a couple already today, but they will chase you and they can bite you sometimes. You gotta watch out for snakes. There's tons of poisonous snakes in South Africa. You got the black mamba here, which is a really dangerous snake because it'll chase you and it's really venomous. You've got the green mamba, which stays up in trees, and those will camouflage so they look like vines. Yeah, there's mosquitoes you gotta watch out for because you could get malaria. But one other thing that I've seen here that are similar to the ones in Texas, except they're in vine form, is these. Okay, so look at this vine. Yeah, you won't want to be Tarzan swinging on that. So look, yeah, some pretty dangerous spikes. And you get higher and higher, but look at all those spikes all the way up. That's just super painful. If you were to jump onto one of those things, man, that would hurt. So yeah, cool little snippet, and gonna keep hiking. Okay, so I made it up to the Sabi Sand, and I'm at the scene where a rhino was poached. And as you can see, here's the rhino skull and here's the lower jaw. And naturally, if it was just the rhino that died, it would have the horn right there. But as you can see, it was cut off and they left the rhino to die, so it must have been shot or something. So yeah, here's the rhino skull, and it's very sad. I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, so out in the wild in Africa, you gotta be careful. You shouldn't usually get out of your Jeep if you're going on a tour or something, but if you do, make sure that you've got someone with you with a gun. Like out here, there's lots of dangerous animals. There's elephant, lion, all sorts of different stuff. And today we've decided to try and track a rhino. So here with me, I've got a tracker. His name is Patrick, and he's gonna tell us about how to track a rhino.
All right, we are in the riverbed. As you look, this is a rhino track. The way you tell a rhino has got 3 toes. If you look here, it's got 1, 2, and 3. At the back, it looks like a W, which it seems like stands for white rhino. So because in the riverbed, you can tell where they kick. Looks like they were going in that direction. So we're gonna start tracking. So while we're tracking, we can also listen for birds like red-billed oxpeckers, which they're always associating themselves with rhino. So they can also help us to find this rhino. So from now, we're gonna follow this rhino and try to find it.
Okay.
So these tracks, it's actually fresh. It's from this morning.
Okay, so we've been walking we finally found the rhino. There's a mama and a baby, and the mama's huge, and they both have their horns still, which is awesome. It's like the first rhino that I've seen out in the wild with its horn. So, yeah. And that site right there is worth a heck of a lot more than gold. Wow. Horn on the mama, like there, it's really cool. And that's how it should be. So from the angle that we're standing, the rhinos, the wind is blowing towards us, so they can't pick up our scent since they're upwind. And they're laying down, which means that they're relaxed. And if they knew that we were here, they wouldn't be so relaxed. They'd be either going away or charging at us. So, yeah, it's amazing. So this place is amazing. It's so beautiful, and I'll just pan the camera around and show you, and you can't see any civilization for miles, and there's so much wildlife out here. It's just amazing seeing all of this. So I've been hiking through the Sabi Sands for a while, and let me tell you, this place is amazing. It's so beautiful. I've seen rhino and giraffe and all sorts of amazing stuff, and I think I have finally stumbled across the person I've been looking for. So here we go. Are you Dave?
I'm Dave, I am.
Are you in charge of protecting all of the wonderful rhino?
I'm David, I'm the warden of the Sabi Sands. Yes, I am. Pleased to meet you.
My name's Alec, and I'm from the wilder lands of Texas.
Pleased to meet you, Alec.
I've traveled all the way up from southern Africa to give you something.
And what is that, Alec?
On behalf of my show and people all around the world who care about rhinos, I have a check for you.
Goodness gracious, that's very kind of you.
For,
If you can find it.
$1,000 US.
Goodness gracious, Alex. Thank you very much, and thank you to all your folks back home. I really appreciate it. We really need this here with us. It's a massive big fight with rhino poaching out here, and it's a big war. So this money will be very well spent. Thank you very much for this. Oh no, you're a good man. Thank you, Alex.
Well, thank you so much for protecting the rhino.
Thank you.
Something I really care about, and you're helping it.
Thank you. Yeah, we study conservation for a reason, because we're something very close to our hearts and minds. And these rhinos being slaughtered for greed, it's totally unnecessary. And this money will be very well spent for our field rangers out there. They need night vision goggles for nighttime, bulletproof jackets. It's a war out there, and these are the poor guys that's staying out there day and night to try and preserve our rhinos. So thank you very much, and say thanks to everybody back home. We really appreciate this. Very kind of you.
Well, thank you.
You're a good man. Thank you very much. Thanks, Alice. Keep well, and travel safe. It's a long way back home, and go.
Yep.
Keep well. Thanks, Alice. Keep well.
Thank you. Okay, so you know me, I couldn't come all the way to South Africa and not go fishing. So here I am. I'm at one of the mini ponds out in the wild, and this is dangerous due to all the hippo, and I've seen crocodile and hippo in these waters, so you got to be careful. So here I've just got a fresh hand-picked worm, and I've got a homemade weight and a homemade bobber, and I've got an open-faced reel, and in this water right here is tigerfish, which would be really cool to catch, and there's tilapia and catfish. So I'll see if I can catch anything and test my luck. Okay, so caught another tilapia here. It's a very nice one, and for the first time ever, I'm not throwing this guy back. So we're gonna keep this one and eat him. But yep, it's my second South African fish, and it's really cool catching fish with hippo in the background. But yeah, you can just see the color. That's amazing. There, that orange and that reddish orange. But yeah, just using homemade bobber and weight. So this one's a keeper. Saturday, July 20th. Last day, last scene. So about 30 minutes before we filmed the last scene, Dave contacted the crew and told them that 2 rhinos had just been poached while I was out fishing. The area that they were poached was over by where the trackers and I had found the mama rhino and the baby rhino. Those were the first 2 rhino that I have ever seen out in the wild with big horns still attached to them. And Dave's team said that it happened so fast that they didn't think the poachers were able to make it out of the park. So they had helicopters and all sorts of stuff looking for them around, but we were never informed if they were caught or if they got away. And there was actually a discussion whether or not they thought that they should tell me about the rhino, because they thought I would get too upset to film. And I'm glad that they did tell me, but they were right. And I thought that we had just done so much good, and all of a sudden it was out the window. It happened. Like, it's hard to explain. But while I was in South Africa, I learned a word, and I've been thinking a lot about that word lately. And that word is Ubuntu. Now, Ubuntu means that I am who I am because of you, or we are who we are because of each other. So, let's just all try our best to be good. You are the future, Timby. You are so beautiful and amazing. One day, you will be wild. One day, you will be free. And one day, I will see you again. And that is my promise.